Hello everyone, Booker Fritz here, and thank you so much for attending today's training. We have a lot of great stuff to cover in today's mini class on how I generated over $306,000 in 1 month for a client of mine. I'm going to be showing you from the ground up how I set this up for my clients. You'll see campaigns, landing pages, advertising methods, both paid and free, as well as how I tracked it all. I'll walk you through all the stuff that's worked for me. My hope is that by the end of this training, you'll say, you know what, this was really valuable and this guy is great, and then you'll take this information and try it on your own. All right, let's get started. Who is this presentation for? This presentation is for local small businesses that focus on providing services. Now here's what I mean by that. This stuff I'm about to teach you will pretty much work for any type of business, but over the past year, my focus has been helping service-based companies such as heating and cooling companies, roofers, landscapers, plumbers, electricians, lawn care, pools, and fire and water restoration companies, just to name a few. But with that said, over the years, I've worked with companies from worldwide coffee chains to the leaders in 3D printing and scanning industries. But for me, the most rewarding has always been working with small businesses. This presentation is not for the get-rich-quick guys, the scammers, lazy people, people who are scared of tech, or people who can't delegate. This is not a fast and easy get-rich-quick class. The stuff I'll teach you works, but only if you work it. With all of that said, this is for people with a strong work ethic. And finally, I'm going to walk you through some campaigns and show you some sales figures. First of all, my results are not typical. The first slide says how I generated over $300,000 for a client of mine. In no way whatsoever does that translate to you're going to make $300,000 or anything like that. I honestly have no idea what you're going to make. Anytime I'm referencing any sales or lead figures, it's for informational purposes only. This is not some kind of hidden income claim webinar. Your success is going to be 100% dependent on your work. And I've been at this for some time now. I can really tell you there's no easy way of doing this. Just like with anything else, nothing is going to go perfectly the first time. You're going to have to make some tweaks. And finally, my personal results and the hypothetical examples in this presentation are for illustrative purposes only. Okay, that big number, $306,000 in 1 month. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, I mean, it's okay. It could definitely be better. I would like it to actually be $500,000 by this time next year. But all joking aside, this is really great if you consider that 2 years prior, when I first got this client, on the same month, they only made a little over $10,000 from the internet. All right, here's where the money came from. We have 249 search leads from companies like Google, Bing, MSN, even Yahoo. We have 61 pay-per-call leads, which come from strictly Google AdWords. And we have 49 email leads, which came from a combination of SEO, PPC, and Google Maps. That's a grand total of 359 leads. That's 359 leads. I'm not talking about clicks or impressions or any of that other garbage. These are qualified leads. We only consider a lead if it's either a phone call or an email. And if it's a phone call, it has to be greater than 60 seconds, and the caller must be a first-time caller, meaning they've never talked to you before on the phone. That's a potential 310 customers calling wanting your services, and an additional 49 emailing you for the same thing. I know what you're thinking. Show me the money. So how did 359 leads turn into over $300,000? Okay, first, a little background on this company. I have to come clean on a few things. This is a heating and cooling company during their already busy month of October. I've been working with this company for about 2 years now, and it's taken that long to get to the point where I can generate this many leads per month. This company has way above average salesmen. I mean, they're really good. Typically, excluding my leads, they close about 1 out of 5. That's crazy. All right. The goal of this campaign was to get more air conditioner and furnace installations. That's their really big moneymaker. They make on average $6,000 per installation. Out of 359 leads, they ended up closing about 1 out of 7, which is crazy, crazy good. I mean, the average that I see is probably about 1 out of 10. That's a total of 51 installations. 59 leads divided by 7, 51 installs, 51 times 6,000, and there's your $306,000. So I hope I broke that down good enough for you that were skeptical. I know I was really surprised the first time I ran these numbers. I mean, 306,000 for 1 month. It's pretty darn good. But I didn't show you this to brag. I showed you this because today I'm going to show you my customer getting process I've used to generate this type of revenue. I've also showed that because there's tons of crap out there that make outrageous claims, but my results are real. This is my life's work, and I can't let it be tarnished by a few rotten eggs. All right, let's get started. Let's start at the beginning. The customer experience before they're your customer. Now, what do I mean by this? I'm talking about the moment they realize they need your services. Now, they might not even know your company name at this point. But this is the very, very beginning. Let's go with this made-up story. So, meet Travis, which also happens to be the name of one of my business partners. And this short story may or may not be inspired by real-life events. So, the first question is, why is Travis crying? Well, Travis decided to have a little party one night. There may or may not have been alcohol and recreational drugs involved. Late at night, Travis decided to get a jump start on cleaning up from the party. He turned on the sink and started cleaning up. Shortly after, he fell asleep. Well, he forgot to turn off the sink. He woke up neck deep in water. Well, really, it was about a shin line, really. What could Travis do besides open up the front door and let the water run out? He had to find someone to help him, and he had to do it pretty quick. He ran up the stairs, grabbed his laptop, and opened up to the good old Googles and searched water restoration near me. Let's take a look at what he found. Okay, so out of these results, which ones would you pick? As Ricky Bobby once said, if you're not first, you're last. I would probably go with either of these two results. But the question is why? So let's start with the first one. Why would I pick this one, and why would a majority of people pick this one? Well, it's first, but other than that, I also see 24-hour water restoration. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And the next thing that pops out to me is the 45 minutes response time. Trust me, Travis wanted to get this taken care of pretty darn quick, especially considering it was a rental house. So, for the second box, this one's attractive because it names the city which Travis was in. And it also says water and fire restoration right in the title. The main reason why I would pick this result is because I can clearly see that they have over 200 reviews, and out of those 200 reviews, they have an average of 4.9 out of 5. 80% of more people are also going to choose either of these two results. Now, this is just the first top fold. Now, let me go ahead and just open up these two sites, and so we can kind of compare what the landing pages would look like out of those two. Okay, now you can see these are both the same exact sites. This company is dominating those first two spots. It's pretty impressive. Can you imagine how powerful this would be in your own company? It would just be great to be up there at the top for this one keyword, just right there. You're pretty much burying your competition when you look at it this way. Now back to the search results. Without even having to scroll down, your company could be in those top 2 spots for both Google Ads and Google Maps. But if we do scroll down, let's take a look at that. Okay, they're also first on Google search results page. So that's pretty crazy. Think about it. Number 1 on Google Ads, so they see you right away, right up top. And then if they're looking for a local company, which they obviously are, they're going to see you number 1 in Google Maps. If they scroll down even a little further to go to the actual search results, they're going to see you there as well. That's what we call the trifecta of total domination. The power behind this is absolutely unreal. I've had clients in large cities bring in well over 100 phone calls a day just from dominating these top results. Take a good look at this slide. This is honestly the goal for all businesses. I hope with this training that I can put you on the right path to dominating your local area. In exchange, I just want your success stories. I'm going to walk you through the entire process, and I'll do my absolute best to keep tech talk to a minimum. Don't worry about taking notes. I'm going to provide you all of these slides at the end. The trifecta of total domination: Google Ads, Google Maps, and Google search results. We've got a lot to cover, so let's start at the top and work our way down. Also, don't worry, please do not take notes. I just want you to sit back and absorb this and let it soak in. Now, before we get started, I'm going to skip over a lot of the super basic stuff, but if you're new and you really want that, please just get a hold of me and I'll create a video just for you. All right, Google Ads, aka AdWords. Working with the right campaign type. This is crazy important. The reason is that there's a bunch of different campaign types, and there's only really one that you want to be using. And that's going to be your search campaigns. You're going to want to make sure you're working with a search campaign. Search campaigns work the best for small local businesses, especially if you're a service provider. Please do not waste your time on any of these other campaign types, at least until you have a profitable search campaign. You'll want to select the campaign goal to be leads, especially if you're a service provider or installer. Now, retail guys, those guys are going to want to pick sales, but the one that nobody really should pick is website traffic. I mean, website traffic really just means that Google will send you absolutely anyone who they think will click on your ad, whether they're qualified buyers or not. We really want those people that are actually interested in what we have to offer. After we select leads, you're going to want to go ahead and click on the phone calls if you want to generate more phone calls, or emails if you want to generate more emails. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant a website visit if you want to generate more emails. But honestly, though, I would recommend go ahead and selecting both. What that's going to do is it's going to allow us to create both types of ads after we have the campaign set up. For the campaign settings, you're going to want to make sure you disable display network. We want to show up only in the Google search results. Display network is going to throw us on all kinds of other irrelevant websites, and it's really going to jack up the price and skew our results. Also, I like to go with a radius. Instead of just selecting like a city, I really prefer to go radius. I feel like it works much more better, and go a little bit further than what you think. I would say probably set like a 10 to 15 mile radius around your company. You can go bigger. I don't know if I would necessarily go smaller. For your bidding options, if you're more familiar with Google AdWords, definitely go with manual CPC. If not, go with enhanced CPC. It's still going to work great. Don't worry too much about it right now. We can always change it to manual later. Manual CPC just gives you a little bit more control over your bids. And also, this one's super important. Don't forget to add a location extension. We can do some pretty cool stuff with that later on. From this point, you're going to want to skip to the part to where you can add keywords. When I'm working with clients, I always find it much easier to set up keywords first and then go back around and create the ads. This will dramatically improve quality score, thus improving your results. My connection at Google recently told me that Google changed how phrase match keywords work. So I did some testing, and I can confirm this is definitely the way to go. Phrase match simply matches your ads with people who are looking for something extremely similar. This used to be complete garbage, but not anymore, and this information is very, very new. So you're going to want to jump on this. Now, phrase match is simply when you put the quotes around your keyword or key phrase. And I do want to give you some tips for keywords, but honestly, you know your business better than anyone else. So I'm sure you kind of already know your primary keywords, but I want to give you some tips and tricks on kind of how to further improve those keywords. Here's some examples to think about. You kind of want to put your main keyword in front of these. So near me, repair near me, service, local services. For example, a good keyword for an HVAC company would be furnace repair near me or new air conditioner near me. These phrases are the most productive for pretty much all service-based businesses. In fact, all of my campaigns are just these 4 key phrases, reworded, different variations. I might even add a location name in there, but this is pretty much all that we do. One really weird tip when it comes to your keywords is that this sounds weird, but you're going to want to capitalize the beginning of all keywords. Okay, so notice how I have near capitalized and then me capitalized. Do that for every single one. This is a little trick that I was taught by a Google rep, and honestly, they weren't even for sure why it worked, but it definitely worked after we changed it. Now, what it does is that it'll give you a small bump in your quality score, which is just generally going to help everything else out. Okay, so here's an example of an awesome performing ad we created for one of our close clients. This is an example of a call-only ad. So the purpose of this is to drive phone calls. All right, so furnace repairs for residential homes. All furnace repairs are 100% guaranteed. Call Holland Heating for residential furnace repair in your area today. Did you notice all the keywords that we just fit into there? We used 4 keywords in one ad. Furnace repair twice, residential furnace repair, and your area. Now, because it's phrase match, your area will actually count for near me. So you can see, look at all that real estate we just took up. This is on a mobile device, for example. That's almost a quarter of the screen. That's a pretty big ad. The fatter we can make that ad, the better, because that means, hey, they're looking at you for the most amount of time. Now, there's a really big secret to this. The big secret is really, there isn't a secret. People just don't do it. Why? I honestly think they're lazy. You see, you're allowed 25 characters here, excluding the word call and, of course, the phone number. You're also allowed 80 characters here and 80 characters here. Now let's see how many I used when I created that ad. For the title, I used 25 out of 25. For description 1, I used 79 out of 80. And for description 2, I used 71 out of 80. Out of 185 allowed characters, I used 175. You want to make sure you use up absolutely all of the characters that you can. Make those ads real big and fat. They'll take a big chunk of that page. It's going to work so much better for you. Okay, so that's really the basic setup for AdWords when I work with a client. I always start with this. And because it's location-based marketing, you're most certainly, without a doubt, going to have to make adjustments and changes. If you have any questions about this kind of stuff, just reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to help you with that. Okay, next up on the list, Google Maps. Google Maps is pretty darn powerful, and there's some pretty cool things going on with it right now. I met with a Google rep probably the beginning of this year, and he was telling me to really look out for some big changes on Google Maps. Well, those changes are happening now, and it's awesome for local businesses. Google Maps rankings used to really only be about search engine optimization, and that's kind of only half true now. What's this in the red box? You see that? See that little green box in the red box? Well, that's right, that's a Google ad. The super great part about this is that if you've already followed my basic instructions for setting up the AdWords campaign, then you're going to be on the path to having your ad shown here. Just make sure you have that location extension. That's really what this is going to be for. If you have that location extension, it's pretty much telling Google that, hey, it's okay to show my company in places where you allow location data. So that's how you can get in there now. Currently, AdWords is going to rotate your company in and out of Google Maps as it feels like the person has more of an intent to actually buy your services. So because it's such a new feature, they don't actually have a Google Maps campaign only in AdWords right now. I'm betting they're going to. But, we'll kind of have to see where that goes. But as of right now, that's kind of the workaround. That means it's possible to really take up 2 spots in Google Maps. And that's pretty crazy considering that you would already have the top spot in Google Ads. So right away, without them even scrolling, you're potentially going to be showing up 3 times right away. And if they scroll down, you could show up 2 to 5 more times. And that's what you call absolute domination. Really. So, okay, we've easily covered the new Google Maps ad. Now let's talk about how to show up top organically at Google Maps. I recently launched this really cool program called Trusted Authority 2.0. I offered it only to people who bought my book. In it, I go over great details on how to get more reviews. Here's some pretty cool stuff that happened when I created this slide. When I took the screenshot of the very first picture here, they had 191 reviews. By the time I took the second screenshot, they had 192 reviews. Just kind of cool to see that happen as I was doing this. The basics for getting reviews for customers, it's actually not too hard. I'll give you the super brief version of it. You obviously want to obtain a customer. Get that from either a referral, online marketing, offline marketing, from wherever it may be. Next, you want to provide an amazing service. Then you present that customer with the opportunity to leave a review. That's key. Most people forget to do this. After you provided that, you will kind of want to give them an incentive for leaving a review. You provided a good service. Customers expect you to provide a good service. So you still got to give them more incentive to leave a positive review. So what I like to do is offer something like a 10% off future services, for example. With any luck whatsoever, you're eventually going to start getting some reviews. It's pretty simple, right? This isn't rocket science, okay? But really, the hardest steps are 3, the opportunity to leave a review, and 4, the incentives to leave a review. When there's no incentive whatsoever for either the company or the customer, it's almost impossible to generate mass amounts of reviews. You need to be thinking of ways to reward the employees that generated the reviews, but also the customers who left those reviews. You could give a bonus to the employee and maybe set the customer up on a special loyalty program so they save money on their next visit. This can go as in depth as you want. I actually created a program all about this, like I mentioned earlier, but this will give you a super good overview to the mindset you kind of need to be having. Okay, so now for Google My Business. There's a few things you're going to want to check right off the bat. These simple things are often overlooked even by the largest companies. I always check these basic things because they have an absolute direct result on your ranking. Make sure your listing stays published. A lot of people say, oh, my listing's live, so it must be published. No, that's not necessarily true. You see, your listing can be live but not published. Published means that you now have full control over your listing and it's 100% verified. If it's not published, don't worry. Go ahead and click on it and click publish. Google will send you a little postcard. It's got a little verification code on it. Typically only takes about 3 to 5 days, sometimes a little longer. Next, move on over to the info page. Go ahead and check your address and your store hours. And if you have a serving radius, make sure it's set up correctly. I recommend going with a slightly bigger radius than you think, as it will extend your reach once we start ranking well. Obviously, make sure your store hours are correct, but here's a little trick to think about. Over the years, I've kind of learned this little tip. Let's say your competitor opens at 9 and closes at 5. And your company opens at 8 and closes at 6:30. If someone searches for, let's say it's a plumbing company, let's say they search for plumbing near me between 8 and 9 in the morning, or between 5 and 6:30 in the afternoon, then your company is going to show up before the other company. Why does this happen? This is because Google wants to show the absolute best result to the person searching, and they know, because you give them this information, that you're still open. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. We actually did this in this example. Now, this isn't going to bring you hundreds of customers right away, but over time, you're most certainly going to have the edge over your competitor. Also, make sure you're using a local phone number, not a 1-800 number. If you have a 1-800 number, you can definitely still put that in, but make sure that your primary number is a local number. It's very important to Google when it comes to ranking. Next up is selecting the correct categories. Notice how I said that plural? It's so important that you select multiple categories. So many companies just put their main category and think that's good enough. It's not. This is the way that I think about it. Google only gives you so much to work with. We need to utilize absolutely everything that they give us. Keep your main category, the main thing, but also add additional categories. Now, what I like to do is I'll sometimes reword the main category. As you can see, for example, heating, air conditioning, furnace, those are all related to HVAC. So, I just went ahead and added a few in there, and I highly recommend you do the same. I would probably add about between 4 to 6 additional categories. You don't want to get too crazy. Don't add like 20 or anything. Keep it right around that 4 to 6. Okay, so optimizing your description and your photos. Your description should be pretty straightforward. We don't want to over-optimize this. Don't stuff it with all kinds of keywords. Google does not like that, and they definitely don't like it here. Here's my example. Again, we want to make sure we use up all of those characters allowed. As you can see, out of 750, I used up 491. So I probably could improve this a little bit more. Okay, so the name Holland Heating is not just the name of the company. It's an attitude towards home comfort. We're committed to performing the most valuable services with the most competitive prices, whether it comes to servicing your existing equipment or installing new equipment. We offer a satisfactory pledge to ensure that you are completely happy with the end results. We're proud to offer services. Now, okay, so you see at the very end here how I did include some keywords. New air conditioner, new furnace, air conditioner repair, furnace repair. That's about as far as you want to go with including keywords in this description. Now, I do think it's important to do it, but I definitely wouldn't spam those keywords over and over. That's about as far as you want to go with optimizing that. Now, as Google AI gets more advanced, photos and videos are going to become much, much more important for your listing. You're going to want to have a variation of photos, stuff like company cars, pictures of past jobs, happy customers, your affiliations, that type of thing. Also, try to add at least a photo once a month. Encourage your customers to leave photos as well. Now that you have this awesome Google Maps listing, we're going to supercharge it by embedding it to your website. Placing the embedded map on your site is like the final piece of the puzzle. Doing this connects your site and listing together as one in the eyes of Google. A great place to put the map is on your contact page or even your home page. So how do you get your embed code? A lot of people get hung up on this, so I'm just going to walk you through it real quickly. And also, don't forget, don't need to take notes. I'm going to give you these slides at the end. Go to Google Maps and type in your company. Click on the top left on those 3 lines. Now click Share Map. Click on over to Embed Code. And right there's your code. Now you can take that and you can put it pretty much anywhere you want. Like I said, probably the contact page or the home page. Okay, now for the SEO section. Okay, so SEO can be the most complex of the 3 to understand and absolutely master. But I think that's just because of the way that it's taught. Many people teach very specific ninja-like tactics and methods to get your website ranking quickly for SEO. And you know what? A lot of those work, and I use a lot of those. But I would say when it comes to local companies, 7 out of 10 companies that I work with, they don't necessarily need those ninja tactics. At least definitely not to start with. What I like to teach right off the bat is a future-proof SEO method. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but this is definitely going to make sure that you're going to be ranking well into the future, especially with the way that Google's headed. And doing this is going to help you achieve great results on its own. Okay, so what is Google's goal when it comes to search results? Google states that its goal is to provide the absolute best results absolutely possible to any given search. Many rank quick tactics work, but like I said, it's just for a matter of how long. You can't beat Google forever. And when the time comes and you get penalized for it, you better make sure you have a strong, solid SEO foundation to stand on. When building a website and creating content, we really need to align our goals with Google. We need to always be asking ourselves, is this page providing the absolute best experience? Here's my process for laying out a good SEO foundation from the standpoint of creating a new website. This can also be applied to a current website without a problem. I'm just going to use a made-up company in my example. Dobbs Roofing Co. is looking to dominate the search results with a brand new website. Here are the services and products they provide. Residential and commercial roofing, shingle roofing, metal roofing, siding, and windows. These 5 items sum up exactly what the company offers. When someone visits the homepage, what should they see? Well, I can tell you right now, they should not have to guess what your company does. They should see exactly what you have to offer without them even having to leave the homepage. Now, I do this in a few ways. The easiest way for me to show you this is to just show you this. So I created a quick mock-up. It maybe took me 5 minutes, so please don't laugh at it too hard. Okay, so in my mock-up, you can see the first fold being the portion that you see without having to scroll down. There's not so much content on it, but let's go ahead and look at the content that is there. I have my phone number up in the top, intentionally next to the keyword instant quote. The free estimate button is right next to my company name, free estimate being the keyword. Now, I did mention Memorial Day sale. I don't necessarily want to rank for Memorial Day sale in the search results, but I can tell you Google's AI is getting pretty darn smart. So they like to see that you're up to date and interactive with current events. This is definitely one way to do it. Okay, next below that, we have window and roofing installation. Both of those are main keywords. no interest, and no payment until 2019. This key phrase, I know from experience, is of particular interest to people who are more acceptable to buying these types of services, especially when you're going with something that's a little more pricey. The free tablet part, that's purely just good marketing. You just want to give them incentive. Part of good SEO is just a good customer experience, and that definitely adds to it. The Get Our Price contact form, that has both SEO and user experience benefits. Really, I personally feel like they shouldn't even have to leave the top page. They shouldn't have to scroll down to contact you. Okay, down at the very bottom there, you can actually see that I have clipped off 3 pictures. One titled roofing, one titled windows, and one titled siding. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. Okay, so for the 3 main categories, I went ahead and put a paragraph below each of those. Just a short little snippet about that category. You'll be able to dig more into these, and I actually engineered these to be very specific. So these are great examples for you to look at in the slide notes. It's going to be kind of perfect, so you can kind of see how I would do this and kind of apply it to your same thing. I'll just go ahead and read one of them. Let's read the Windows one. Learn what to look for when replacing your windows. What really makes a good window? Attention to detail during the manufacturing process and installation of the window. We stand behind all of our products and are proud to carry only the best windows. Installing windows in your local community for over 30 years. So you can see I just have that absolutely stuffed with keywords, using installation, new windows, we carry only the best, those type of things. This is where it's kind of acceptable to put a little more into it there. So definitely take a look at this in your slide notes, and you can kind of see this and apply it to your own company. Okay, so after those 3 columns, I would immediately have a contact form followed by a paragraph or 2 about your business. This is where you want to include like your location, your business hours, how long you've served the community, name the communities that you serve. This is also a great area to add things like 100% customer satisfaction, any charities or affiliations that you might have, in a perfect spot to add that Google embed code we were talking about. The links in the menu and then the columns, they would both go to the same pages. On those pages, I would again keep the top half informational, but with actionable content like the Get a Price form. Below that is where you can really dive into the details of the category and go nuts. Fill out this page with as much content as you can. Just remember, you know your services extremely well. I want you to take a step back and explain it in such a way that an 8-year-old can understand it. So how about blog posts? For blog posts, I would say write about past jobs, community events, the areas that you serve, and really go into details of the particulars of your service. You really want to shoot for about 1 blog post a week. Really. Heck, you could have someone in the office write a blog post for $15 or $20 a pop. Just make sure it's between 500 and 800 words, and you want to have at least 1 or 2 pictures in it. Now, if you followed this structure and applied other basic SEO principles, such as adding header tags, adding text to images, editing the preview snippets, then you're probably already ahead of most people. You see, I always come across companies who want to build on a sandy foundation, and that just won't cut it. You need something strong to stand on. That way, next time your competition starts proactively doing SEO, you'll already have a leg up on them. Too many people want to build, they just want to come right out and say, hey, I want to be at the top. So they try all of these different shady SEO methods. That's not going to last. You see, doing what I just taught, that's going to help you build a foundation which you can build an empire upon. Now you have the knowledge to be well on your way to dominating your local market. This is the same formula I used when helping that HVAC company make $306,000 in 1 month. Now, it requires a lot of tweaking outside of what we just discussed today, but now you actually have a destination to travel towards. If you made it this far, I'm going to send you an email link to ask if you would like a copy of these notes. I highly recommend that you grab these notes. As I said, we just covered a lot of actionable content. You're going to want to look over this stuff again and skip through it and go right to the parts that you need, and I recommend doing that. So I saved the best part for last. I've been working on something that will be a huge benefit to your company. It's almost unfair to your competitors. Scratch that. It's absolutely unfair to your competitors. Now wait. Listen, I have nothing to sell you right now. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm just generally super excited about this, and I really want your input. Over the last year, I've been working on this top secret project that will allow me and my team to personally help you and your company grow like never before. How would you like it if my team and I worked with you personally on dominating your local market? How would you like to have direct access to live group training weekly, where we would go over your online marketing materials and show you exactly what's working for our clients? How would you like access to online video training courses that are updated weekly, covering all kinds of sorts of stuff related to small business online marketing? What about one-on-one consulting, where we would review your site and your marketing campaigns and help you tweak them for success? You'll get advice from the guys responsible for making their clients millions over the years. And here's a classic line, but wait, there's more. Members of Mastermind Booker will have access to a complete suite of tools. Dashbooker. It's the most powerful analytic tool out there for small businesses. Here's a quick screenshot of the tool. It's so simple to use, I could teach my grandma to use it, and she would understand it. But what does it do? First of all, it takes all of the analytic softwares, such as Google, Bing, Facebook, your emails, phone calls, pretty much anything you can think of, and it puts it all into one spot. That means no more logging into 10 different websites just to see where you stand with your marketing campaign. It also keeps track of all of your SEO rankings across all major search engines, so you'll know whether you're ranked number 1 for plumber repair or you're ranked 10 for plumber repair. You're going to be able to see that and track that without having to actually go there and look at it, and you can do this for 100 keywords if you wanted. And the cool part is you're going to easily be able to see how many leads you're getting, and you're going to be able to see exactly how much it actually costs you to obtain one customer online. You're going to be able to track and spy on your competitors. Now, keep your company close, but keep your competitors even closer. You'll know pretty much every move that they make. There's so much and so much more with this that I could honestly go on and create another 80 slides about this. So that's what Dashbooker has to offer. Now let's take a look at our other tool. Our social media tool, Social Booker, is an amazing time saver and content creator. This screenshot of our social media planner allows you to create and schedule social media posts for an entire month or an entire year. It supports all major social media platforms. This is Social Booker's content creator. Ever wanted to make a quick, professional-looking ad or image or flyer, and you wanted to do it fast? This is definitely the tool for that. It's pre-filled with all kinds of templates and stock images, or you can upload your own. You can create it, save it, post it, or schedule it. Now, these tools combined would cost around $500 to $800 a month if sold together. Guess how much members of Mastermind Booker have to pay? $0. These tools are included to members. That's everything included in the membership package so far. And like I said, I honestly don't have anything to sell you right now, and I wish I did. I wish this was ready to go. I just want to get some feedback on if you feel this would be valuable to your company. And just to be 100% upfront with you, when I do plan to take this live and start taking on some members, it's going to be listed for $397 a month or $13 a day. Honestly, that $13 a day, that's about the cost of a large coffee and a sandwich from Starbucks. You can let me know if this would be valuable to you by either clicking right here or clicking down here. Either of those two spots is going to be somewhere where you can let me know you're interested. I've really invested a lot of time in creating Mastermind Booker, and I really think you're going to love it. I plan on doing a short soft launch where I'll take on maybe 25 members, and then I'm going to shut the doors right down. I want to do this so that I can make sure that those first 25 people really succeed before opening it up to any more people. By letting me know if you're interested, you'll also be the first group of people notified when I decide to open the doors for a short time. Hey, thank you so much for taking the time and watching this webinar today. I really hope you got a lot out of it today, and I hope I was able to provide a ton of value to you. And I wish you the best, and I wish your company the best. Also, I'm going to email you these slides, or I'm at least going to send you an email and ask if you want these slides. And thanks again, and we'll see you guys later.